They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of this place. Hey everybody, what's up? This is Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Now, on this video, I'm gonna be talking about why Generation Z and beyond will be the motherless generation. Now, one thing has happened, and I'll share a photo of it, of the population decline. Now, what's going to happen is this. We're heading towards a huge drop in the population, and I think Generation Z and after that will be the motherless generation. Because here's the thing that's happening. Something that's happened with MGTOW is that, and the red pill, is that a lot of men have synchronized. And, you know, it's something that's never happened in male history. It's that a lot of men are synchronizing on something they can agree on, a foundation. The foundation of MGTOW, the philosophy, what is it, due to these laws, I think Mr. Elite does very well intro on that, where he always says it's basically no cohabitation, no marriage, and basically no long-term relationships. And what's going to happen is that because so many generations of men are synchronized, be them boomers, be them Generation X, be them of my generation, the millennials, and even Generation Z. You know what I'm saying? A lot of males are talking and, letting one another know that, yes, the laws that are ahead, the laws that you face make it that were you to get into a long-term relationship, you as a man would not only be surrendering your future to to the will of the woman and the government, but you would also damn your children. One of the biggest thing that's happened due to the family court and no fault divorce, and basically how biased towards and against men the family court is, to the point where women get the custody of the children over 95% of the time, even though she's not qualified, even though she has a mental issue or isn't the main provider and protector of the family. And another thing is with child support, how a man could be put on child support without any, requirements, without any sign of, domestic abuse, such as fighting, hitting her, or anything. Basically, when the government made no-fault divorce, the government's goal was to destroy, and it's always been to destroy the stability that a woman would have with a man, in her life. That's with authority. If a woman had a man in her life and he had authority, it would actually make her more loyal to stability than the chaos that the government needs to maintain and succeed, to maintain that. What woman would vote for a government full of, people that are out of order, not stable, that are constantly feeding into the weakness and trying to manipulate the public? No, most women in the households they're in would not vote for that government, but the government has succeeded in that level. But here's the reason why Generation Z will be the motherless generation. You have to look at something like OnlyFans. You have to look at that OnlyFans, and you have to look at the whole COVID-19. What COVID-19 has done is that it's sped up the great divide between men and women, because what it's done is it's given men a lot of time to themselves to absorb information, and basically learn a lot more, and interact less. But at the same time, it's giving women the opportunity to normalize what's basically going to destroy the physical interaction between men and women. It's that OnlyFans is normalized that a man could get his validation and his need for female interaction online through talking to her online and not actually meeting her. You know what I'm saying? And what that's done is that now when, let's say, for example, the millennials and Generation Z, when they get Generation Z, let's say, when they go to the bar, you know what I'm saying, and some chick tells them, nah, I don't want to, I don't want to date you or nothing like that. They're going to be, I'm all right. I'm going to go back home and go meet my OnlyFans girl. Another thing is, what it's done is that another reason Generation Z and beyond is going to be the motherless generation, beyond the fact that, it's openly an anti-straight male agenda where all they do is attack the straight man 24/7, But what's happened is a lot of the men the younger Generation Z look up to, like, let's say, there's a lot of YouTubers, a lot of male YouTubers, let's say a Ninja, let's say Dr. Disrespect, and let's say PewDiePie. I know some of these guys are married or whatnot, but what you have to look at is that they're always streaming by themselves. A lot of those men, a lot of the big time male YouTubers or Twitch, they're always streaming by themselves. Now, those Generation Z and those millennials watching are looking at it and say, look, you could enjoy your life by yourself. You know what I mean? You don't need nothing more than what fills you with enjoyment, be it your games and your activities. So unlike the previous generation that grew up watching TV where you watched, Home Improvement, where you watched, you didn't have that much choice. So you watched a lot of TV shows with a mom and a dad and so on. And, you know what I'm saying? They'd make the dad look like a buffoon and so on. And those males, those young boys would be watching that show. They're no longer watching that. They're watching their favorite streamer, and their favorite streamer's always projecting the imagery of a bachelor, that always projecting that he's single, you know, and that's what that's gonna do. A lot more men are gonna be comfortable alone. You know what I'm saying? So now those women of Generation Z, and here's the thing, a lot of the Generation Z and millennials, reason I put millennials is that a lot of millennials will be dating, let's say millennials like in his 30s will be dating a Generation Z girl in her 20s. You know what I'm saying? So, they're gonna collide. So what's gonna happen is that a lot more men will see, that the laws haven't changed. The thing is this, the government will not admit what it's done wrong. The same government that's openly giving welfare with the condition. Think about this. You give welfare with the condition that the father isn't present. You're only going to help the family if the stable father, if the family's broken. This is why a lot of guys watch the rise of single motherhood. This is what the government had in mind a long time ago with how they, push their welfare programs. It was all about, and I had a friend told me that in the 2000s, you know what I'm saying? He told me in the 2000s he was going through something and the welfare still pushed him out. So the government prefers that you have a single mother household because with the father not there, it's easier to program the children. It's even easier to program the children. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to also use that dysfunction to increase the private prisons and so on. So now a lot of Generation Z, a lot of guys have come out and say, well, the Generation Z women are gonna be more traditional. No, no. The thing is this, with the laws being what they are, with the fact that a lot more men, you know what I'm saying, anytime the closer you get to your girl, the more opportunities she has to report abuse or whatnot. And with the court systems being how they are, to the point you have a family court. Think about that. You have a family court, but its main design is to destroy the family. You know, that's what's funny about all this. You have the family court, but the main design of the family court, its main goal is to actually destroy the family. You know what I'm saying? That's how you have a family court. Its main design is to actually destroy the family. So now a lot of like I said, a lot of Generation Z. Now you add the fact that men have to choose, camera girls. Relationship with a cam girl has now been normalized. Then you add on the fact that Tinder has basically, I spoke to a good friend of mine. He told me, you could meet a good girl, you can meet good women outside of the bar. They could be your future, girlfriend and all that. But in reality, because of Tinder, the fact that you could pick up and go to a date at any time or sleep with any woman at any time, the club is no longer just a bar. What Tinder has done is that it's made the entire world, the entire country is now the bar. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you could grab a woman, you could start sleeping with her right from a website. It's basically done. You know what I mean? So the thing is, Tinder has made the entire country the club. You know what I'm saying? Tinder has made the entire country the club. So you add in the fact that men now can, have relationships with women over the camera with something like an OnlyFans. And you add in the fact that you got Tinder has made, dating or sleeping around like fast food. You no longer need to go to the bar to look for a girl that's, down to give you the peace leave. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's gonna be a major example of that. You add in the fact that you have multiple generations of men, from the boomers to the boomers that were bachelors, the Generation X, the millennials. A lot of the Generation Z's idols and are basically men that are on the video by themselves all the time. A lot of these men, Generation Z and beyond, will see that being alone, and then the risk that they keep seeing. What is it? There was a video they showed a kid in school. He was in I think he was not even in high school. I think he was in 6th grade or something in London. He basically tapped this girl trying to talk to her, and she said he abused her, and he got kicked out of school, and they started filing him as a sexual offender or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he got kicked out of school. The thing is this, the internet, then you add in COVID that's told men to maintain their distance. You know what I'm saying? COVID will basically normalize further into men that you should be comfortable alone first. You should be comfortable away from society first, above all. That's what COVID has done. Now, the other reason Generation Z is going to be the motherless generation is that you add in the fact that there's sugar mamas. There's so many places where a woman is, selling herself. But let me get back on point. The reason Generation Z, a lot of the women are gonna be motherless, is that while these guys are looking at women and having relationships with cam girls, you know what they're doing? They're ignoring the physical woman. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, a lot of women don't get it. You're on a clock. As soon as you had your first period, you're on a clock. You're on a clock towards not being fertile. And what's gonna happen is that, look at Bella Thorne, who made over $1 million on OnlyFans in 2 days. What OnlyFans has done is that it can ensure that one woman could maintain the attention of multiple men. Now, if now let's say 500,000 men are, watching Bella Thorne. You know what they're not doing? They're not looking at the physical woman, a woman outside of the internet. So a lot of the Generation Z women, they're basically gonna be motherless. You know what I'm saying? Unless, and the thing is this, the government will not admit it's wrong, will not amend or abolish certain laws. So Generation Z, these women will be, I'll do a second video on this, but they'll basically be motherless because all the boomer men, the Generation X men that's been screwed with divorce, the millennial men are letting them know. And the thing about the internet, a lot of people don't add up, is that the internet has changes happening in weeks, days, the level of information that's happening. And with the fact that cam girls, guys used to watch porn and have a lot of shame, you know what I'm saying? And porn didn't give you that interaction you wanted with a woman, you know what I'm saying? Being able to talk to her or conversate. Now with the cam girls, you could do that. Your OnlyFans, you get certain levels of access to a woman. You get to talk to them, or some other website with cam girls. And then you have sugar mamas where you could pay a girl, you know what I'm saying, a certain allowance a week to be around her. What this has done, and this further explains why Generation Z will be motherless, is that a lot of men have multiple access points to a woman, multiple, an infinite amount, to where they don't need. For example, you have the only fans. You get interaction with a digital woman. Guess what that's doing? You're not meeting her in person. And you're not meeting her in person. She can't suggest, let's get married. Let's have kids. Let's build a relationship. Let's move in. Let's come to your place. None of these things are occurring. A lot of women think they're taking advantage of, a lot of women think they have an opportunity with OnlyFans, that it's going to do them great, and the sugar mama thing is doing them great. They don't get that these things are only training men to maintain a level of distance. You know what I'm saying? OnlyFans is basically turn women to like a vending machine. You want this level of access, pay this much, pay that much. But you know what you don't have to pay for? Coming to actually live with her, being with her and all that. That's what's happened. So, a lot of the Generation Z women, they're going to be motherless because a man can have a relationship. A lot of guys in the red pill community kept talking about, we're going to have, what is it, those sex dolls. No, OnlyFans is basically what it's done is that you get access to a real woman, but you will never meet her. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to have high ramifications for the Generation Z, because Generation Z is going to be the generation. And the thing is, it's going to come from the millennials to the Generation Z. So if one brother has OnlyFans, and let's say he's a millennial, and his younger brother's Generation Z or whatever, or vice versa, whatever, you know what I'm saying? One's 18 and one's 14. And they say, yo, my girl's right on the cam. I get to see her every day. I get to see her when I want to see her. It's gonna normalize to young boys and men that, yeah, it's okay to never meet a woman in reality, or to the point where you could see her physically. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the women with your OnlyFans and so on, a lot of women in reality will not have children because more men will spend more time with their digital wifey on OnlyFans, or men will spend time, going, thirsting for a chick on Twitter. Guess what they're doing? They're ignoring the real woman. You know what I'm saying? And then you add in the laws and all that. A lot of the Generation Z women who will soon eventually participate in your OnlyFans and your Instagrams and showcasing their body and all that, to the point where, men, and then the laws aren't changing. They're gonna be the motherless generation. If you think the population has dropped now, it's only, my prediction is gonna drop by about 10 to potentially 20% by the time Generation Z is done. You know what I'm saying? And the government, unless the government acts quick, I'd say there's any DAC in probably 3 to 5 years, but they won't do it. There's so many laws that have to be changed, and with the fact that the government the fact that the government has such a great, they only need to appeal to the female voter, because the thing is, the biggest loophole when women were given the right to vote, the biggest loophole was that the government would not balance the sheets. They wouldn't balance the votes. So if you have, and I mention this a lot on my videos, so if 500,000 women vote and 550,000 men vote, you should equal it out. You even it out and only count 500,000 votes. But the government doesn't do that. So all the government needs to do is appeal to the female voter. They don't need the vote of men anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna backstab them, because if the government wanted to actually abolish no-fault divorce, abolish the family court, abolish all these laws that are unfair between men and women, prison sentences and all that, guess what? The older women, and this is why women are their own enemy, is that the older women that, lived through when they had no fault divorce and all that, and had, are alone and single and no longer fertile or able to have children, they would feel so against it and so angered by it, and their own narcissism, that they wouldn't allow it to pass. So, all I'm going to say is Generation Z is going to be the motherless generation. This has been Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Peace. They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of